Customized learning according to Mrs. Bach of Watertown High School, Middle College Aero Academy, English and Speech. I will be starting my 27th year of teaching this fall, with the past 10 of those years being at Watertown High School. The prior 17 were spent in two smaller schools teaching 7 through 12 English and Speech primarily. In Watertown, we've been actively engaging in customized learning at the high school for 2 full years now. It's still a work in progress. We refer to this as building the plane as we fly it. I'm so excited about the movement to mass customized learning. I no longer have a presentation station, no front of the classroom as before traditionally. I've become a facilitator of learning. I support, encourage, connect with, problem solve right along with my students. I've been asked the question, why would you want to jump into something as crazy and new as this toward the end of your teaching career? My answer is because customized learning is so exciting, and it can be crazy and chaotic, and therefore, it makes perfect sense to me. Customized learning is not a new concept to me as an English teacher. I had personalized work and plans as much as possible for students continually over the years, but I always felt there were students who were still missed or who weren't challenged enough when teaching in a whole class at one pace. I had become a real expert at finding more and more information every year to present in my units, to make things more interesting, so I thought. I shared everything I had learned over the years about each English-related concept. Darn, I was really a great presenter. But I strived for more for my students. I wanted to continually make them more active in their learning, and I've really found this in customized learning. Anyone can customize in his or her classroom at some level and in many ways. It doesn't always have to be only done within a whole program as we have engaged in here in Watertown. So how do I begin? Well, one suggestion that I have is to choose something that your students struggle with the most. In English, that could be Shakespeare, writing a thesis statement, writing with parallelism, using transitions. Create a video lesson that demonstrates, clarifies, extends learning that the students can use as needed individually. They can refer back to it anytime they wish throughout the unit. Planning instruction in a customized environment requires thinking outside the box. In starting this program, I had to hit the ground running with a basic customized plan, which I have been continually revising and working to allow more and more true personalization for each student. There is no ideal plan as to what the end product will look like years down the road because this is continually evolving. There is no limit to what students can do. But I see the learning growing more and more toward cross-curricular work and mastery of standards as students continue to engage in rigorous, meaningful learning. Eventually, I envision students choosing the best way that he or she can learn any content to master an objective, and me having less and less of a role in lining up those choices. To start, however, I use Apex for online learning for basic language, writing, and literature concepts. I also use resources such as those housed on my Symbaloo pages, and I have the resource link for my page at the end of this presentation if you'd like to refer to it. Students also do a lot of collaborating with each other. They're continually researching in our extensive WHS databases. There's just an infinite database of learning for students to use with credible resources. My students are continually researching to discover more and more topics of study or interest for themselves. Our high school will be moving to iPads and integrating more and more app-based learning next fall. For this presentation, I used the app Explain Everything to create this video. This is a phenomenal creation tool which truly has unlimited application possibilities, and it's very user-friendly. Schoology, as shown over here in this corner, is our LMS, or Learning Management System of choice. Here we communicate with students through messaging and calendars. We have classes set up with grade books. We have an innumerable number of options for class materials and supplementation. Students can easily view and access all of this. Schoology is very versatile, it's user-friendly, and it really fulfills our program needs. Google Drive is another tool that we use a lot as facilitators, and the students use as well. It's a great creation tool for collaboration, sharing. Students use it to create docs, presentations, and then I can share things from Google Docs with them through Schoology, and the students can share back with me as well. I expect this list of resources to grow exponentially as our students' needs and their ideas expand. Concerning essays, when students write now, I can sit with each one as needed and make suggestions and revisions or just help guide writing for more growth of the student's potential. The writing becomes a better product. It's not just something that's handed back covered with my corrections that's then often tossed in the recycle bin shortly thereafter. This can be more work for me, but because the students are working at different paces, I can sit with most of them in real time during the school day as they're writing, which makes my work more meaningful as well. Students learn to use credible resources to make writing better, and they do the same skills that they would use after high school or in higher level courses while in high school. Students truly have a choice to create their own process for learning. Instruction has become construction, and students are really using the writing process continually. As far as novels, how many weeks did my classes spend reading one novel in my traditional classrooms before, either in or out of class? Now students read continually throughout the course while working on English or other subject coursework. They complete projects to show their learning, their reactions, their thoughts as they read or after reading. Reading at their own pace makes things more interesting for them. They can group with peers for discussion as well. I'm still working on this continually with using resources and how to use rubrics, or if I should use rubrics for some of these. But customizing the novels is probably one of the easiest elements to envision for someone just starting customized learning. There's a plethora of online resources for study and collaboration and assessment, but one of the simplest and most effective evaluation options is to have a conversation with the student as they're reading, to listen to the collaboration that's going on with other students, to see the process that they're using to complete their project work as they go along the way. Students can read the novels at their own pace. They can choose their own assessments. I use Symbaloo pages to hold the Google Docs of explanation and expectation, and there's a lot of ideas that I have on there for project outcome, but the students can also come up with their own. These ideas are absolutely unlimited. Students have shown their learning and experience with the novel through game creation so far, both computer games that they've created, hard copy games, video performances, timelines, song creations, voice threads. It's kind of a long list so far, and I expect to see many more in the future. Interactions with students help form these assessments of learning through instant feedback. I love that about it. The projects are just a more finished form of the presentation. I already know what the student's learning is before they sometimes even get to the end of it. In all student work, I don't have to wait for the end to see it, and I really love that about customized learning. Our program here at Watertown is called Middle College Aero Academy, MCAA. I have the privilege to work with 3 other fabulous facilitators in the content of math, science, and social studies. This summer and in years to come, we hope to provide more cross-curricular options for our students, and that's one of the things we'll be working on in our curriculum redesign event coming up. Because our program is going to double in size next fall to about 120 students, we've added 2 other facilitators. One will help with English and speech, and the other will work in social studies. The idea of our Middle College Aero Academy is that through customized learning, students can experience some level of college or post-high education through dual and AP courses that their schedules have allowed because they have had the opportunity to complete core requirements at a sometimes faster pace. Our first year held the thought that students would want to and would be expected to just work through courses faster, but that's really not the case. Some do and have taken the opportunity to do that, but other students use the time to complete work more quickly in a course that they may have had a better grasp of. so that they would have more time to work through material and really learn concepts in an area that they had struggled before. For instance, someone who excels at English may only take a few weeks to master those concepts, but then spend the extra time working harder in math to really grasp the ideas there. Customized learning, in my view, is about so much more than mastery of content. I believe we're truly helping our students to become experts in their own learning. Nowadays, most of the information that they need to work through problems and discover answers can all be found online. Knowing how to research and how to find the desired information, that's the real challenge. Students are not just accessing information, but they're continually evaluating it for credibility, and they're applying that knowledge. Learning, therefore, has more purpose for every student because he or she is no longer just a passive learner in the process, but is actively learning how to solve for the best possible answer. Students learn how they individually learn best, how to be persistent, what to do when they hit a wall or get stuck, what to do if they really don't feel like working, but they know they still need to get things done. They have to communicate, they have to solve problems, they have to meet goals, use planners, believe in themselves, and stand up for themselves. We work a lot with self-efficacy and self-advocacy in our program. My English students don't just sit in a quiet corner and do their work all alone with no teacher during the calendar school year. They talk to each other, they research, they use resources, they have individual time with me whenever they need it, and sometimes they can stop the whole room and consult with everyone on any topic if they need to. Students also can work during the summer to finish courses or use that time to work ahead. These options are all part of the choices they have at any time in our customized environment. On my last page, I've shared my contact information through email and our school webpage. I also have some resources shared. I put the top link is my actual Symbaloo page, Symbaloo EDU, and that will take you to my page and you can look at some of the resources I have available for students. You can also create your own Symbaloo page and make your own resources. We also use Schoology, as I said, the Explain Everything app and Google Drive. And in conclusion, research says that our students now spend about 15,000 hours in the undergraduate classroom. I envision future students not being limited to any hours particular in a classroom, but rather be learning everywhere, at any time, and in any place.